Showtime.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Late Night Craft Talk. Countdown timer going. Look at that. Today was here to see it. We are looking at an animation. Look at that. There's a capsule busting loose from OSIRIS-REx, the spacecraft.
Whoa. What is that?
We're live. Look at that. We're going to spend 10 minutes watching that little capsule separate from OSIRIS-REx and drift toward Earth. Look at that. Oh, it's time to share. Sharing is caring.
Oh, we should share. Okay, let's see here.
I'm getting ready to do that too.
Let's see.
There's OSIRIS-REx, just that capsule with the sample from Bennu just slowly drifting away from OSIRIS-REx when it released the capsule. It's headed for the northern Utah. Oh, guess who's here?
Maya?
Maya's here. The El Presidente.
What? Oh my goodness, she's on time for a change.
Maya, you are hot. You're safe.
You're
but there
on
it is.
time.
There's that little capsule drifting away. Go, Maya.
You're on time. This is good. This is a good trend. Show up on time a little more. Just what I'm
Maya, you're getting a good job performance review. You shall be reelected.
We approve of you being on time.
Okay.
Okay. You guys sharing, Maya? Are you sharing?
Oh, there goes OSIRIS-REx. I'm sharing right now. There goes OSIRIS-REx out of the picture.
Let's see. You know, it's so weird when I share, it doesn't give me the option to give the information to share.
I get it. Oh, look. We're getting a different perspective. There's Earth. There's Earth in the distance. That little spacecraft that little capsule just drifting toward Earth. Here it comes slowly at 26,000 miles per hour. 27. Okay. 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Have you shared?
I'm working on it. It says we're going to talk about space stuff tonight.
Space stuff. You know what? I'm with you.
There has been some awesome news from NASA.
Absolutely.
About stuff.
About stuff.
That is space related.
I'm going to copy what you just said. I'm editing one of my posts. Edit post.
It's really funny.
Look at right here. We are talking about space stuff tonight, like OSIRIS-REx.
Like stuff. The spacey. And spacey. And spacey.
Spacey.
I'm just going to tag a whole bunch of people. And we'll see if anyone joins. We'll see.
There we go. Just remember to spell OSIRIS-REx with a lowercase x.
Oh, no, I didn't even say that. I said we're going to talk about space stuff.
It's all spacey and spaced out.
And then there's some awesome news from NASA about stuff that's space related.
Got it. Hey, you better behave yourself. You know why?
Huh.
Mom is watching.
Well, you know, the thing is, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you guys all my story about, I'm going to tell you my stories about, oh man, and like, so there you go. I'm going to tell you my stories about astronomy.
Astronomy!
Yeah, you guys are actually going to appreciate it. I'll tell you my stories about astronomy in college. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that Earth getting bigger?
What is that? Is that
That's
Earth?
Yes.
Wow. It's not like a CGI image of Earth?
Well, it is.
It's a CGI image? Wait, what?
Well, see the capsule. It's drifting toward Earth, and Earth is getting slowly larger.
It must be traveling quite fast.
27,000 miles per hour. Of course, I also sped up the video.
Right?
Yeah, here it goes. Getting closer. You can see it slowly getting bigger. We'll see what it looks like over the next 5.5 minutes. Why are you wearing a mask?
I'm trying to like breathe the air so that I can breathe and watch space stuff.
You know that's not how it works, right? You need an aquarium with a scuba tank connected to you. Oh, yeah, and space is a vacuum. You'll explode. Look, there's Earth.
Wait, that was weird. It just like all of a sudden like jiggled.
Well, that because I think it was a slightly different perspective. We're looking at it going like more toward the back end so it could go into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about that video. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Getting closer. All right. Oh, we got people watching. Let us know who's watching. We know we got Maya. And yeah, Maya, thank you. We're back.
Yes, we actually are back. We've been off for a little bit because we've had some hiatus stuff going on, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll share why we weren't on last week. Sometimes we get busy. Carol Ann's here.
Yay, Carol Ann. I miss you.
Are you eating chips?
No, I have candies here.
Candies? I'm eating Carol Ann from Trader Joe's.
They're like sugar-free candies.
Okay.
Where's the dogs?
No sugar. Okay, Earth is definitely getting bigger.
Yeah, it's getting really big, really fast.
Which means it's getting closer. 4 minutes.
I took Leia out like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, where is she?
I don't know.
Is that Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got home early today.
Yay, Dan.
Yeah, he does environmental monitoring, and he does all of the testing on Friday night when the labs close down. So he was able to start earlier today, which is awesome.
Does he wear a long white trench lab coat or a short one?
He wears a full-on bunny suit. Like, do you remember Willy Wonka where the Oompa Loompas were all wearing white in the TV room? Yes. Imagine, Dan, that's what he does. He's wearing like the whole outfit where you literally can't see anything but his face, his eyes.
Yeah, I've only been in a couple situations where I wear suits like that, or like Nomex suits and stuff. It's quite confining.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the profession, right?
Well, Dan will look like one of those cool people, like checking out alien bodies in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
There is a conspiracy that put together a press conference showing supposedly mummified alien bodies.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going for, but I don't think a lot of the science community is taking it very seriously.
Oh, Dan, you probably should have got a haircut this week. Yeah.
Does he look like rock and roll Dan?
Yeah, he's definitely has growing his hair out. I don't even know what that is, Dan.
I'm growing my hair out.
He's growing his hair out. It's getting all wild and big.
80s Bon Jovi Dan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is he smiling?
No.
Damn it.
He's not even listening. He's like,
okay.
He's just
2 minutes.
Doing his stuff,
Got it. Oh, we're getting notifications. More people are joining. We got a good crowd tonight.
I know we have a lot of people watching. This is awesome.
Awesome.
I guess they like it when we're live.
Yes.
And not like pre-recorded.
Definitely. Okay, minute 45. Good countdown time, folks. It's all about space. Look how big Earth's gotten.
Wow, that moved really fast. That was
there's a different perspective. It's not the Earth moving, just our perspective where I moved it a little bit further behind the capsule in the video.
But I'm just confused. He's in the backyard. He's watching the rats. Mochi is totally infatuated with the rats in the backyard.
Lovely. Carolyn, I'm excited about the topic, and I do love Alicia's best. Cool. All right. Get closer to Earth. About the time I think it lands is about the time the show starts.
Ooh.
You can really see it moving now.
I think
it's going to start entering Earth's atmosphere real soon.
Oh, really? It looks like it's going to pass Earth, actually.
Oh, no. It's getting close. See?
You know what's crazy? Look, I already drank like half both my drinks.
Jeez, you're going to be doing a refill in the middle of the show.
Ah.
You get ready for countdown?
Yeah.
There it goes. Coming to Earth. Getting in there.
Is this CGI?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, it's really strange that all of a sudden there's this different...
Whatever is going to the Earth's atmosphere.
Interesting. Oh, look at the sky.
I'll explain how we got this when we show starts.
It's not getting hot. It's not getting hot.
Very. 10.
9.
8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
3,
Two.
1.
Hitting the surface, starting the show, folks. Here we go. It's time for Late Night Craft Talk with hosts Svea Yang and James Hermes. Let's get the fun started. It's time to start the show. Live.
It is live, and I'm working on this.
You gonna do the switcheroo and make me get barf? Space barf with our space show tonight? There we go. Motion sickness. Look what's behind me.
How do you even breathe? What's going on here?
I'm blonde. I just hold my breath for several million miles worth of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
It happens that way. Folks, welcome to the night show. We are live. Here's proof. Poke. Don't do that. No.
Do this, James. Put your hand up. We're high-fiving each other right now. High-fiving.
You got to do this. Got to do fill in the cup routine again. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So hey everyone. Thank you for watching our show. We are live tonight. We do this show every week. Live or recorded. We do the show every week, and we do this to entertain you, maybe tell you about something you've never heard about, introduce you to something you haven't seen, and have fun and just get a chance to catch up with everyone, because apparently we have a fan base.
Joya's here.
She is. Hi, Joya. So we are, like I said, that's what our show is about. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our Facebook pages, our YouTube channels, our Instagrams, our Twitters, our Twitches, all those social media things.
I'm liking everything right now.
Mm-hmm. And then also, if you get a chance, share our posts share our videos on your social media, because that's how we grow. That's how we, share our word. And we hope it's positive. We hope people feel it's positive every once in a while. So, James.
Yes.
What has been going on with Elk Rack Traders? I haven't seen you in forever. 2
weeks, and then the shows and stuff. We were at Poway Rodeo last weekend in Poway, California. This is a show. It's not one of our biggest, but it's sentimental. This is our third longest show we do, longest running. We've been there since 1998. We've only missed 1 year, 2006, and that's because of those of our long-standing fans of the show. So when we had the identity theft thing happen, and we had to we couldn't do the Poway just because of jail. But those are our long-standing shows. We do this, but the community was so supportive, and some of them are still there. Someone watched the show. And it's kind of a homecoming to come back as a long-standing thank you for their support for doing that. And it was a lot of fun. Matter of fact, let me get it up. I got a slideshow. That's for the whole thing tonight. Okay. So POW is always fun, but it's a little bit of a challenge because it's still got the sensory thing. When we did this last year, I had the sensory issue was just starting to manifest itself. And I didn't know about wearing earplugs, and I couldn't look down to see the audience, and a lot of the committee are going like, "Hey, how you doing? Everything cool?" And they're just amazing. But here is our booth at Poway Rodeo, fully stocked, lots of featherwork, knives we had, and people are like, "Yes, we've been waiting for this." So always awesome. But they had a neat feature this year. They had a group come in to perform as people came in, and I loved it, but the earplugs went in because it was a little bit of a challenge when they brought in. I hit the wrong button. It's not queuing the video. There's the video. They brought in this. Oh, wait, it has to download. This is what happens when you store your stuff on the cloud.
I'll text you.
I loved it. The mariachi band. But that trumpet was making me go, ow! What a great copyright notification. Anyway, so it was cool, but like I said, the trumpet hurt me. But there's just something about the mariachi band and the rodeo that went together really well that night. Committee does an awesome job. So not our usual powwow fare. Mariachi band and the rodeo was pretty cool. With that, what's going on with Dancing Bear Indian Trader?
Well, we felt really bad that we didn't go to Verona, but we just had so much on our plate to get ready for Salmon Well and the shop hop. And then we went to Salmon Well, and my mom, I haven't really announced it on Facebook, but my mom, she had a lot of hip pain. And so we ended up having to cancel going to Bishop, which that was kind of sad because we've been to Bishop. We've never missed a year of Bishop. And so that was kind of sad because we had to cancel that. And my mom and I were really sad the whole weekend. And this week, we are not going to San Ynez powwow because my brother's getting married tomorrow. So we're going to go to my brother's wedding. So, I mean, we're kind of sad we're missing out on this too. But, you know, we have to prioritize family things. That is important to us. And so, unfortunately, we're missing out on San Ynez powwow. So that was a couple things. We did bring my mom to the doctor because her hip was hurting really bad. We haven't heard back from them about the x-ray results, but we're pretty sure it's going to be a hip replacement. So we already know that that's going to be a situation, but we're waiting to hear back from the doctors because they said 4 years ago she already had severe arthritis in her legs or in her hips. And so they already said, you know, back then, I mean, she already pretty much was in a situation that they would consider hip replacement at that point. So, so I'm worried about that. And then I'm trying not to be a downer, but my mom,
some weeks the weight feels a little heavier than others.
Yeah, and so then this week or today, my mom's dog Rocky passed away. So that was a little hard. I mean, he has been a very difficult dog to deal with. He's very feisty and likes to bite me, my mom, Dan, the dogs, likes to cite riot dog fights with the dogs. And he passed away this morning. He was over 20 years old. So I think he was like almost 20, maybe 20 to 25 years old. And so we're just kind of, you know, going through dealing with losing a dog. So
the last 10 years, that dog's been saying to you, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, that means his.
But that's incredibly well. But that just tells you how much he's loved and cared for.
Yeah. So I mean, with all of his vices, I mean, we tried to take care of him the best we could, but it was, you know, it's very difficult, especially the last couple of years. But we've had some just kind of crazy stuff go on, so it's been hard. And then trying to just keep up with all the work, and then missing out on the powwows, and then mom having some health issues. It's hard. So anyway, that's what's been going on with Dancy Bear. And then we do have the bead retreat coming up. So today is ultimately the last day to get the hotel discount. So, I mean, you have literally 2 hours to call the hotel and make a reservation if you want to go and stay at the hotel. It is at $209 a night, the special rate. Normally it's $350 a night, which I can't even believe hotel rates nowadays. I remember you could stay at the Hampton Inn for like $129 a night, and that was not considered expensive.
I remember used to get hotel rooms during a powwow for $25 or $30 a night, and went, "Oh, that's a little much."
But some of those hotel rooms are $25 a night, like Motel 6 were really scary. So I mean, you could stay at the Hampton Inn for $129. Now it's $350. So it's like, oh shoot. Anyway, but crazy stuff. But the bead retreat is coming up in a couple of weeks. So for sure, sign up if you want to. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't have to have bead experience. It can go from very beginning. Everyone can, anyone can participate. So I would love it if everyone, could come to our event. We put a lot of work into it. Every year we've done this event for 6 years now. It's a lot of fun. Do tell your friends about it because, like I said, it's a great thing. We're teaching 4 classes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, that's what's going on with everything right now.
Gotcha. Seeing a stopwatch here. So for this next part, before we go in the main body of the show, we're going to get y'all ready. We're going to get y'all ready for the visual feast tonight of space. And we're going to do a little section here we haven't done in a while. I'm going to put on my smart hat. And we're going to play a game called Look How Smarty James Is. How smarty smart. I'm going to put on my smart hat.
Okay.
Okay. So that thing's like invisible. It's just weird. Okay, I'm wearing my smarty hat. And y'all know that like this semester I'm taking cultural anthropology. And here's the jaw dropper I'm also taking, and I'm on week 3 now of this semester class of general psychology. Tomorrow I have to write an essay on the Gestalt perspective of human senses. Yes, I'm not speaking Chinese, but I have to do an essay. But one thing is reading through it about the senses. There's this really neat thing. I went, oh, I got to show this on the show. Now, folks, put your thinking cap on, your smarty smart head. And, well, right here, here's Jen shining off right now.
I just turned it off.
The same thing I did. Yes, she is. She does this as a penance for dumb people like me. All right. Now put it off to show this here is let's go over quick theory here. Color and visual system. Color perception. Y'all can read this. The brain is a 2-stage process. It represents 2 main theories. Trichromatic color representation. Light evokes different responses from the 3 different types of cone photographers in the retina. Opponent color representation represents the cones are combined and processed by a subset of retinal ganglion cells and by color selective neurons in the brain. Now, in short, we have 3 main colors we see. It's like the stoplights. Well, let's see, was it red, green, and something else. 3 chromatic colors. White, yellow, yellow. 3 chromatic colors, and it's a combination of all these colors that make the other colors on our visual spectrum that we can see. Now, there's parts of your eyes that when you look at an image, it's not so much that when you look at it, it seems bright, but if you look at it for a while, this part of your eyes, these sensors, or cones actually, get tired, or let's say bored for another sense of looking at that color. And it's like, okay, it kind of dulls, there it is. But when you take it away, then it's like, whoa, where'd it go? But I'm used to looking at that color. And there's a lot of other human senses that are the same way, but we're going to concentrate on visual.
James,
right? Yes.
Do you know that if you stare at something, like you stare at the color red, you stare at something red for like 10 seconds intensely, and you look at a white sheet of paper, that you will see that same image in green?
You're actually going to cover that tonight. For those folks that don't know that, we're actually about to do that. Now, right now, we're going to give a very good example of opponent color representation. Look at those colors right there. At the level of the retina, the most humans have 3, some have 4 types of color cones. Humans as active, there's 4 primaries. Color scout, color sorting after images is basically what I just said here about a minute ago. And the evidence of the level of retinal ganglion cell, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, So to give an example of what we're talking about, what you read here, I want y'all to stare at the next image, stare at the center, and you're going to see that square with the blue, the green, the yellow, and the red. I want you to stare at it for 30 seconds. Stare at the center of that square, the very center of the image. You ready, Svea?
Yeah.
I'm going to set a timer. We're going to do it for 30 seconds. So here is, stare at this image for 30 seconds.
Look at the cross look at the cross. Like
look at the cross. Look at the center of that image where the four colors come together. Stare at it right now for 30 seconds.
Don't move your eyes.
Don't move your eyes.
Same image. You're going to see the images start to glow around each other. You'll see a little bit of glow.
Now, stare at it for 15 more seconds. Look at it in the center. This is cool, folks. If you got a big screen, you got a phone, hold it up. Look at that image. And let's see what happens now. You should see for a few seconds the opposite of where each color is. You see the spectrum opposite had there and then slowly go away. And all you're seeing is actually gray squares right there in the image. Did you catch it, Svea?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I've known about this for over 20 years, and I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I know too, but I want to bring it back just to show our folks it's this cool thing, just to show how smart we are. Obviously, from Jen, you don't need a special hat to show that, and I do. Yes, Joy, it's weird, but it's cool. All right.
You know, when I was in college,
What?
Let me show you something.
Okay.
I have it in my stuff here that I can show you to explain.
Okay, because I got one more image, and it's going to make everybody go, God bless America.
Okay, well, let me show you something really quick. I'm trying to take all this crap off of it so I can show you. Okay. So now this is the perfect example. Okay. So now you guys were looking at red. And then at the very end of looking at that, you saw green. Purple was yellow. Blue was orange. So you see the opposite color of the color wheel that you saw in that image. Just so you know. Okay.
And here's a great example of seeing the opposite image. Now, this next image, you're going to see a little white dot in the center. Stare at that little white dot at the center of the image for 30 seconds. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's bring it up. Okay. Folks, stare at this image. Stare at the center. You'll see the little white dot in the middle. Stare at that white dot for 30 seconds.
Do not move your eyes. Continue staring at the white dot.
Stare at the white dot for 30 seconds.
Just focus and stare at that white dot.
Stare at it. Don't let your eyes drift. Look at that spot. And this is a great example of opposite colors in your phone, the cones in your eyes. This is cool stuff.
And you start to see a little bit of a glow around the color. It's really cool.
Yep. All right, 10 more seconds. Stare at it right there, folks. Ready? And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You should see a U.S. flag.
Yay. That's so cool.
That is a great example of the opposite colors.
Yeah, I'm still seeing a flag right now.
Yeah, I know. I did too. I was looking at it just to double check it, and I was checking it this afternoon when I put together the PowerPoint for the show, and
I'm still seeing it right now.
I'm still seeing U.S. flags like a minute later.
I still see it right now on the chat screen.
Isn't that trippy? All I can say is God bless America.
This really is hanging around compared to.
I know, it's trippy.
This one really hangs around, yeah.
Got it. All right. Done with the Smarty hat. Okay.
James, you didn't tell me about this one. I really appreciated this part of the show today.
Well, I told you we were going to be doing those parts, and it's the first time we've done a show where we haven't like gone through all the visuals. We do the walkthrough of the show. Cool stuff right now. Oh, Canada. All I can say, Jen, is USA, USA. You're seeing it everywhere right now.
Too bad. Okay,
Another
just so you guys know, Jen is Canadian. That's why.
Yeah. That's so cool, though. And another one from Joy. My eyes are jacked up, but I do see the red lines.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
All right. Okay. We ready for the rest?
Yeah.
All right, folks. Now, tonight, on to the sciencey, spacey space stuff. Tonight we're doing tonight's show on Here we go. OSIRIS-REx sample return mission from Asteroid Bennu. We're going to be looking at a lot of pictures and some animations and actual pictures of Bennu, and these pictures are freaking amazing.
Okay, just so you guys know, OSIRIS-REx is not a dinosaur. Okay. All right, just want to make sure you know that.
It isn't?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna do some smart talk tonight, folks. But y'all, we're gonna try to keep up with you. Okay. Starting off with, you want to do the first one, or shall I?
I'm gonna let you read it because you have such a beautiful voice.
Yeah, because you want to do this. You're like, science? No, we gotta be talking about Barbie.
No. Okay, wait a second. Listen. Okay, when I went to the university, I needed to fill science requirements, so I took astronomy. I loved the class, but man, it was flipping hard, and I was failing the class. And I talked to my instructor. I'm like, I'm trying so hard. He said, listen, if you register for a second semester of astronomy, I will give you a C. I'm like, okay. So it's something I really love. I just don't really understand all of the concepts of it.
Gotcha. If for some reason Jen's got to point this out. Right, Jen.
Yes, he is a dinosaur.
Yes, and a Neanderthal. I used to say Neanderthal. Jen would be
the best heckler at any comedy show.
She would be the funnest heckler ever. Totally. Okay, let's start off with, what the heck is OSIRIS-REx?
Yeah, what is that? What is that?
It stands for Origin Spectral Interpretation Resource Identification Security Regolith Explorer. It's basically, that's the acronym. The goal of the mission is to send an unmanned spacecraft to collect samples from near-Earth asteroid Bennu and then bring samples back to Earth, which it actually did. With the capsule came into the landed in Utah, which we'll be covering. It just did this last Sunday morning. So needless to say, Svea is going to go, I bet James going to do a show on this. And then she gets a text from me and she's like, I won that $20. She made a bet. So Svea, as we're looking at this,
James, I made a bet with you.
I owe you $20?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, darn it. So Svea, why the lowercase x in OSIRIS-REx?
Because there was a typo.
Are you looking at the show notes?
Yeah, I know. I'm being silly.
Okay. No, there's actual legit, like, grammatical reason why there's a lowercase x. And it's more than we are in our knowledge of English grammaticalese. You gonna say it or me?
Oh, you want me to read this?
Or remember, it's a guide.
Hold on,
we're tag teaming a little bit.
Okay, let me grab Mr. Grogu right now because I need to have him help me hold my phone because my phone. Yeah,
and Grogu is of space.
Yes, it's appropriate that he's holding the phone like this. Look.
By the Force. Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, why is the lower x in there? It's because the lowercase x denotes that the word explorer after the uppercase e, it sounds better than saying OSIRIS-REx.
Reh.
Yeah.
I think it does roll off. OSIRIS-REx.
Yeah.
Or again, right there, she combined it with me, Rexosaurus, but better than OSIRIS-REx.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, folks, why Asteroid Bennu? What is so significant about this thing? Well, this stupid thing works. Okay. This is OSIRIS-REx. We're going to explore more of this image in close-ups, but Bennu was chosen as the target for the spacecraft OSIRIS-REx because it is considered a time capsule, actually, weirdly enough. It is from the birth of the solar system, a capsule from the birth of the solar system. Bennu, as you can see from the picture, has a very dark surface and is classified as being highly carbonaceous. Carbonaceous is a real word. It is.
It's when you have too much soda.
Yes. Though I don't think if you shake this asteroid up and then pop the top, it's going to fizz everywhere and blow in your face.
Yeah.
If it does, it'll destroy the world, not the world, but definitely a large city.
Mm-hmm.
Fact,
it definitely looks like a soda ball. He's like popping.
It's shaped like a spinner, top like a diamond shape to it. It's
pop
funky.
it in your drink and I'll just go a fizz. Okay.
Got it. All right. Carbonaceous materials are well studied and is a class of materials primarily composed of carbon, carbonaceous carbon. It almost sounds like a word from Bill and Ted, doesn't it?
Yes.
Carbonaceous, dude.
Man, dude. Chewy.
Totally. So now, primarily composed of carbon molecules. Remember that life on Earth is primarily composed of the element carbon. Asteroids such as Bennu are considered primitive, having undergone little geographical change from the time of their formation, which would be like 4.3 billion years ago or more, probably a bit more from the birth of the solar system. So these things are basically just stuck in time in that. And Wendy's asking if it's a pop rock.
Looks like it.
Oh, we're going to touch on that later in the show, why it's a bad idea to try to pop that top and get it going. Especially what we found out what Bennu is actually comprised of and is actually put together. Okay. Now, Bennu was selected because of the ability of pristine carbonaceous material, a key element in organic molecules necessary for life as a representative of matter before the formation of the Earth, which is 4.3 billion years ago. Or if you ask my dad, when he was about middle age.
Oh, by the way,
my dad joke.
Curtis.
Hi, Curtis.
I don't know. Are we going to
to
accept his apology of being late? I mean, we give Maya a really hard time for being late. Just saying.
Curtis, you have this coming. You have this coming, Curtis, especially with the Smarty Smart episode tonight. Okay. On with the show now. Okay. Now, we talked about blocks a lot. Key elements now. A key element, organic molecules necessary for life as representative of matter before the formation of the Earth. Now, there's this thing called amino acids. There we go. Okay. Now, amino acids are molecules that combine to form proteins. Amino acids and proteins are the building blocks of life. Organic molecules, such as amino acids, have previously been found in meteorite and comet samples. We've actually collected comet samples of a comet from the tail several years ago. That's an amazing story there. Now, this indicates that some ingredients necessary for life can be naturally synthesized in outer space, not just in Earth.
James.
That's cool. Yes.
This looks like we put the slide up again.
I just want to do something that wasn't copyrighted.
This is like this is like superhero hands or something. That's what it just reminds me of. It's like
hands of godly science.
There's the supernatural hands. They're like, boo. Okay, good.
I'm thinking of a couple movies, including what's that one that was a prequel to Aliens? Wendy, you're smart, Curtis. You probably know too. Let us know in the comments. Okay.
Oh, by the way,
yes.
Maya, the president, said, give him the look, which we did. And then Maya said, I'm glad it's not me this time.
Maya, apparently you missed this. Ready? Maya. Remember, you got to be able to take it if you want to dish it out by proclamation from us, for us. Okay. You want the next part or shall I?
Sure, I'll read it. Are you bringing out the slide? Or am I?
Yes, I am. It's ready.
Okay. Okay. Is this like a Doctor Strange image?
No. I'll just bring up the slide so you can see it because I'm going to bring it at one point.
I can see
there.
it like a
There's
Doctor Strange image like this. Okay. Bennu is regarded as the most dangerous rock in the solar system because its intersecting orbit with Earth leaves it the highest chance of hitting the planet of any known object in space. It's expected to come dangerously close to Earth in September 2182. At least we won't be around by then.
Some of these folks, you wonder, they're just, we keep on saying, get off my lawn, no matter how ancient they get.
Yeah.
We've been doing this since dinosaurs were riding by Flintstone mobiles.
But doesn't that look like Doctor Strange, like the Doctor Strange things that they spin like this?
Yeah, we've actually got video of Bennu like spinning and stuff. That's actually kind of cool. All right, my turn. I got the look. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The spacecraft OSIRIS-REx, when it launched, the spacecraft launched on September 18th, 2016 from Cape Canaveral, Florida, and began its 2-year voyage over 80 million miles away, 2-year voyage to rendezvous with Asteroid Bennu. And we've got a little thingy right here of it. Hope this is the right slide. Well, let's hope. Okay. Now, OSIRIS-REx entered the cruise phase shortly after separation from the launch vehicle, the rocket, and the spacecraft actually made a flyby of Earth for a gravity assist on September 22nd, 2017. This helped make it the final adjustments on its course to Asteroid Bennu. And what's kind of like really trippy is like, why would it do a flyby of Earth? Why don't you just fly straight out to the asteroid? And the answer is, just to get it going is million pounds of fuel, billions and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of $1 million, just to get it up to space. And taking spacecraft around, we don't have enough propellant just on the spacecraft because it needs something the size of a skyscraper just to get to space. And then once it's out there, you use its propellant. But what it did, it's kind of like sailing, wind sailing a little bit, which is a bad misnomer. But you use gravity. And well, there's one case, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. It's the one that does a polar orbit of Jupiter. But just to get it out there, we launch it from Earth, and it goes out, and it circled like Mars, came back around Venus, did a flyby of Earth, and it has to do this just to get over here, just to get the speed and the right angle to get over and do a polar orbit of, like, say, Jupiter. Just to get over to Bennu, which you see in the orbit here, with the orbital dynamics, it has to do a couple flybys of Earth just to get it in the right angle to actually do a catch-up and fly parallel to Bennu. And then because Bennu is only 1,500 feet across, very, very, very small gravity, it's got to move slowly and then catch orbit to go around Bennu, which we might see an animation of that. That's how it works to get to these places. It's a lot of math and a lot of moving trigonometry or whatever to get this, to figure out where it goes by very, very, very smart people that should be wearing this hat. Yes. It's a lot of figuring out. These folks, they earn their paycheck, their government paycheck at that. Oof. All right. So with that, during this cruise phase, OSIRIS-REx was actually used to search for a class of near-Earth asteroids known as Earth Trojan asteroids. Everybody know the story of the Trojan horse? Probably. Now, as it passed by the Sun-Earth Lagrange point, and you ask, Svea, what's the Lagrange point? You're probably thinking to yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm just like totally.
What's the Lagrange point? Okay. A prime example, those who watched our show several months ago about the James Webb Space Telescope, it's at one of the Lagrange points. This is a point, there's 4 of them around, where the gravity of the Earth, the sun, and the moon combined cancel each other out to make this area where you can just hang out. And there's asteroids that are actually like in these Lagrange points that are before or following the Earth. In these Lagrange points, they're just moving along with us. They're not in orbit around Earth. They're just in these little areas where the gravity of the 3 cancel each other out, and they're just going along. But if there's a little nudge, one of those asteroids can go toward Earth. And it ain't very far away. It's only 1 million miles away. That ain't very far. And that's so I was using that opportunity to going through the Lagrange points to look for stuff we don't know is there. Which is it's pretty cool. Now, after traveling approximately 2 years, the spacecraft rendezvoused with Asteroid Bennu in December of 2018 and began a 505-day surfacing of mapping from approximately only 3.5 miles away. That is close. Here we go. We got a cool animation. Let me bring it up. This is it going around as soon as I play it. Going over and catching and going over and slowly doing a quick circle and then slowly being caught and doing gravity around Bennu. Now, mind you, the orbit around that thing takes about 60 hours. Bennu spins about 4.5 hours. That's why it's like sped up and it looks like it's going like crazy, like somebody running to the bathroom in circles because the door's locked. I thought that was a cool analogy.
Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, it looks like a piece of charcoal.
It's really dark. It says it's carboniferous.
It looks actually like the charcoal where you light it and it's like it's infused with lighter fluid.
Let's hope there's no propellant on that because that could be really bad. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's a lot of carbon.
Yes, yes.
Wendy says they're spinning like an electric meter in my summer. Oh, mine too with the desert heat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, now we got to learn something about Asteroid Bennu. What is about this thing? Yes, it is basically a giant piece of charcoal and a bit more.
Yes.
But I don't think charcoal we can blame for life on Earth. Well, maybe we can, but not the charcoal we know. All right, you next for me.
Okay, so it's about Asteroid Bennu.
Yep.
Okay. Discovered on September 11th, 1099. Bennu is named after the Egyptian mythological bird. What?
It was supposed to be actually 1999. My bad.
Okay. Okay. It's September 11th, 1999. And so it is an ancient Egyptian mythological bird associated with the sun, creation, and rebirth. It has a diameter of 1610 feet and is classified as a near-Earth asteroid.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Bennu was observed extensively by the Arecibo Observatory and the Goldstone Deep Space Network. Yes, we have those things. And using radar imaging to map its shape and composition. You're actually looking at that first radar image to decide the composition and general shape of Bennu. This is the image from the early 2000s. Now, based on the radar observations that indicated Bennu had a fairly smooth surface, and the shape was one prominent. Smooth shape and surface, and was prominent to. There was one prominent boulder that stuck out that was about 30 to 50 feet. It's amazing, even then, with this, that they can deduce those things.
Yeah, you can even see. Well, yeah, you can even see that it has a little hump that keeps.
You can.
And it keeps spinning, and you can see this formation coming up every time. So yeah, I would think that they could do this that easily. Because even if you squint your eyes a little bit and you look at it, you can see all the texture in the asteroid, and you can see it's like an actual formation of like a.
Definitely. You probably see the comment from Curtis. Curtis, we'll be talking about that over the next few minutes, actually. But one thing is, we do have a question of mine: how many asteroids actually hit the Earth? When they hit the Earth and they enter the atmosphere, it's actually known as a meteor. It goes from asteroid, the name goes to meteor. Didn't note that it's entered Earth's atmosphere. If it actually hits the Earth's surface, it's a meteorite. And if one of our viewers can actually Google or look that up for us, let us know and we'll answer Maya's question right there. Okay. So looking at this, now high-resolution data is obtained by OSIRIS-REx itself revealed that the surface is actually much rougher with more than 200 boulders larger than 20 feet just on the surface. And the largest of these boulders is over 190 feet across. Here are some images. That is Bennu, high resolution, which we're looking at.
Wow, it's really cool to see the details on it. It's just amazing because, I mean, how would they even get that information before until now?
Just seeing it, there's a lot you can infer from just the radar images, just from that. But actually, this is what surprised scientists is just they thought it was a smooth surface. When they got there, went, oh, it's a big old ball of clay or a dirt clod. And I said earlier in the show, the thing's basically it's just there may be a core port to it, but there's so many boulders on this thing that are being held together just by the weak mutual gravitational force that you've got all these boulders and rocks on it. You can see from this thing. It's amazingly well detailed. Matter of fact, here's a close up of one of the big old boulders.
Wow.
This is the surface of Bennu. Look at all those boulders just sitting there.
It's almost like some of those archaeological areas that you love in the Utah area and along the river.
Yeah, or any other area that's rough like that. It's very similar. It reminds me of some mountain peaks. Granted, with a lot, it may be just a pile of boulders on top and not a solid piece. Each asteroid's slightly different. Here's another close-up.
Wow, that looks like literally a black and white image, sepia tone of a desert or a natural landscape.
Well, this is actually probably black. This is going to be black and white, but it's not going to be off from what we actually see because this thing's so dark. There's so much carbon and stuff on it. And I think we got another image. Yep. Oh, I love this one. Now, mind you, this thing is held together with, and matter of fact, we'll go and just bring up Curtis's comment right here because we can reflect off this. As far as Bennu's shape, think of it like two piles of gravel piled on top of each other. Because it's spinning like that, the equator is bulged out like that. The bigger the object, the less this happens. So we're kind of this medium part. Now, there's all this regolith, there's small stuff, which we'll talk about. But this is actually some of the regolith that's being spit out into space. Because you've got the solar wind hitting it, and sometimes it might disrupt something. And so for some reason, there will be like some of these little pebbles and sand stuff the size of sand will be blasted off the top. It'll actually orbit and slowly come back to the surface of Bennu. And this is a picture of some of those rocks, those little teeny rocks being sped off into space, and some will escape and most will come back after a while. And Bennu was there long enough. Okay, Curtis, I don't know.
Yeah, don't say it. You know what? Just James, just read Curtis's comment versus showing it. Because I think he has a valid point. Just don't show it because he has a typo in it. Yeah. So he says OSIRIS-REx is also, Curtis says OSIRIS-REx is also now OSIRIS-APEX. It has been redesignated to do a flyby recon of asteroid Apophis that will do a really close by of Earth in 2027.
Yeah. Curtis, we're going to be covering all that, but right now you're telling everybody the boat's sinking Titanic. We'll be covering that stuff, dude. I know you're anxious, but that's why we love you on the show. For one on this, it becomes an awesome three-person conversation. All right. And I have notes on here about the well-defined equator. I'll just go ahead and go through it. There's a well-defined equator at the ridge at the equator. The presence of this ridge suggests that fine-grained regolith particles have accumulated in this area, which we talked about a minute ago, possibly because of its low gravity and fast rotation. It does have a fairly fast rotation of about 4.3 hours. And in a way, it is a giant dirt clod, or better stated, a lump of clay, as we said earlier. You got the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
Asteroid sample and return to Earth. Results of this mapping were used by the mission team to select the site in which to take a sample of this asteroid surface. The mass or boulders and fine particle regolith presented a problem of finding a suitable site for a sample collection. Rehearsals were performed before the actual sampling with a couple of close approaches to the surface of Bennu. One close approach came within 130 feet of the surface of the asteroid. After a year, the mission team selected a sample site called Nightingale, located in a northern crater 460 feet or 140 meters wide. The crater is thought to be relatively young, and the regolith, I hope I'm saying that right, or rocks and dust is freshly exposed. This means the site could likely allow for a pristine sample of the asteroid, giving the team insight into Bennu's history.
Big time. Okay. We are looking at actual footage, which is coming in and actually collecting the sample. This is amalgamation of images to make a movie, and I actually think it. A couple of the slides got. Yep. One of the slides got. There it is. Okay. There we go. One of the slides got mixed up. All right.
So this is like a reimagining of what happened.
Yep. October 20th, 2020, OSIRIS-REx unfurled its robotic arm, which you see right there. This is a animation. This is not the real thing, of course. Anyway, in a first for NASA, briefly touched down on asteroid Bennu, first time for NASA, to collect dust and pebbles from its surface in a maneuver known as the touch and go or tag. And we're actually going to go back to that slide. This is cool stuff here, but you can see where it's touched down, and because all that regolith, it stirs up all that dust, which was a problem, actually, with the asteroid sample. And here it's doing, it's just cutting up. This is probably not much off, but this is a really dramatic representation of what happened. And it's actually, that did disturb the crater, not the bottom of Nightingale crater distinctly, which I don't think I included a picture of it before and after, but it left a pretty good 8-foot wide crater on this just from touching that. And now we go back to the actual video. This is actual approach, touch, and it blew out a little bit of nitrogen to disturb those particles to get it in its sample jar. And here it is coming back, and look at those particles it does. So that ain't much off from the animation.
So how hard or how fast did the probe actually touch the crater? Was it going at 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour? Was it going really fast, or it literally was going very slow?
Okay, very slow. Very like this. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember it was inches per second, but it was very slow.
So is Bennu even a solid surface? It sounds like it's not even solid at all. Because
I would say mostly yes, it is not a solid surface. It's a big ball of clay. It's a bunch of stuff held together by mutual gravity of rocks. Maybe a big core rock. And let me get out this animation.
So is it kind of like basically in the ocean there's a trash pile that as individual pieces, it's not really a big thing, but it just becomes a big thing because the way that the ocean just swirls and whatnot, it becomes this big mass, but it's not really a mass. So it's kind of the same idea.
Roughly, yes.
Okay.
Right there you have maybe viscosity and other things that will hold it together. Think of a dirt clod where you have some kind of mutual attraction, or you got to have some moisture that's holding it together. But in this case, that moisture, the factor holding these rocks together is gravity. Everything has gravity. You have gravity. I have gravity. My anvil right here has gravity, though it often seems to repel more of Svea. But everything's got gravity, and even with Bennu, something only 1,500 feet across that we can achieve orbit has to be done very carefully because the gravity is so light. If you stood on the surface of Bennu and just all you got to do is just wiggle your toe and you're off the surface floating into space. To do that, it is so light. It's slow approach. It had to do a slow approach just to get caught in the gravity of Bennu. Remember, this thing's only 1,600 feet across. And all that little gravity of those little regolith and the boulders is what slowly brought it together to do that. But the core part, Bennu is actually believed to break off from a larger asteroid a couple billion years ago from the asteroid belt, and slowly got drawn into the inner orbit to the inner planets, to a orbit that's roughly follows, not the kind of crosses paths in that general area of Earth around the sun. And as it did it, all these little particles just over billions of years came over and joined it and clumped it, and that's what we see now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it did it. We ready for the rest?
Yeah.
Okay. As you saw, April 7th, 2021, OSIRIS-REx completed its first layover. Okay. April 21st, April 7th. I'm messing up. OSIRIS-REx completed its last flyover of Bennu and started slowly drifting away from the asteroid. On May 10th, the spacecraft fired its main engines at full throttle for 7 minutes. This burn thrust the spacecraft away from the asteroid about 600 miles per hour. And mind you, yes, it's traveling faster as it orbits the sun, but relativistic to Bennu, it was moving away from that at 600 miles per hour. And which is nearly, for you, our non-American viewers, that's about 1,000 kilometers per hour. And it set it off on a 2.5-year cruise back toward Earth. Your turn, or me?
Okay. So on September 24th, 2023 at 4:42 a.m. Medium Standard Time, at a distance of 63,000 miles from Earth, it ejected the sample return capsule, which re-entered the atmosphere at 27,650 miles per hour at about 8:52 a.m. MDT. Under its parachute, the capsule landed at 11 p.m. or 11 miles per hour at the Utah Test and Training Range, 3 minutes earlier than predicted. The main spacecraft maneuvered to a trajectory away from Earth for its extended mission. So its extended mission meaning what? It's going to go do something else?
Its extended mission is actually what Curtis was saying. Its extended mission is actually going over to this rendezvous in 2029, I believe, the asteroid Apophis, which is about like 12 or 1,400 feet across. You meet with that one because that's another one that's considered a near-Earth asteroid that presents a danger of hitting Earth in the future. Mm-hmm. Relativistic future, which would be in the next couple hundred years. This is animation of the capsule actually coming into Earth. It's not, of course, the real thing. There's some video we were hoping to play of it actually entering Earth, in Earth's atmosphere, glowing when it was taken from a thermal camera over Idaho and Washington, where it came back, or excuse me, Northern California, where it came back in. But this is the animation where it's coming down and landing in the northern Utah desert. Mm-hmm. So as it does that, we've actually got pictures of where it landed. And this is last Sunday morning. Here it comes in with that. The parachute and everything. Mind you, this is the same capsule. Let me go ahead and slide up. This is the actual pictures. That picture in the upper left, that is the actual picture of the capsule parachuting to the surface of Earth in northern Utah.
Wow.
It actually came in 3 minutes early, which is probably a mess up on the math, somebody's math right there. And there is the actual capsule, and this thing landed in a pile of sand perfectly. And look how charred it is. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit. There is the capsule right there where the sample is actually being put in the capsule on OSIRIS-REx as it's orbiting Bennu. This is a couple years ago. That's the actual capsule. And there is the actual capsule after going through its atmosphere. Look how charred up that thing is. It burned at several thousand degrees. It entered Earth's atmosphere at like 26,000 miles per hour. And then, had one parachute to stable its angle coming into Earth's atmosphere. And then the other parachute to slow it down to 11 miles per hour. And it went on that pile of sand out there in northern Utah. That's cool. And now that when it was actually collected, this is the actual team shortly after touchdown that actually wrapped this thing up in thermal blankets, the capsule. And this thing is tight because it wants to keep that jar, and it collected it wanted to collect like 8 grams of sample. There was so much it collected that it's about equal to a cup, which is about 80 grams. This thing got way more than they thought they were going to get of the sample. Matter of fact, there was so much. Let's go back right here. Look at that. That's the little robotic arm. That's the end where it collected the sample, blew the nitrogen. Look at all that debris that collected on that thing. It was floating off. This thing wanted It wanted just like, a few grams of the asteroid. The asteroid's like, oh no, buddy, it just keeps on piling on. It collected so much and so much debris got in this thing that it clogged that up. They're wondering if they would be able to seal the capsule correctly because of all the little dirt and regolith floating around from this sucker.
Wow.
And that's an actual image. And we go back to this.
So it's interesting. We have an interesting comment from someone on Twitch, and they're saying, why are they spending so much money on a rock when the Earth is full of rocks? It made me laugh a little because I'm like, okay, I get it. I see that.
Not all rocks are created the same. We'll briefly touch back early in the show, because these rocks on a pile of rocks out in space ain't what you find on Earth. This sample you have to keep pristine, because it's considered pristine because that crater's assumed to be newly exposed, and these materials have the carboniferous materials may have blocks and samples of amino acids, and it is a time capsule from the formation of the planets before Earth, of the early solar system. And these things, we can learn so much because they date and they're pristine from that time. You ain't gonna find rocks like that on Earth. Matter of fact, these samples, we'll show it right here. These samples, this is the clean room that was set up at a hangar on the training base. This is an Army training base in northern Utah. They're going to cover that up. They flew it over to Johnson Space Center. And I don't think I have any pictures of that. Let me see if I do. I don't. Okay. Of Johnson Space Center. And this thing's kept in a vacuum chamber, or kept in a chamber with a nitrogen feed, so there's no contamination from Earth's atmosphere. Anything to keep this thing pristine.
They have to do that because the thing is, they don't know really what's in it as well. So they have to 100% make sure that if they're trying to they're trying to get a sample and they're trying to they need to make sure it's, like, I get it, pristine. So
yeah, they're keeping it, matter of fact, the choir.
It's not a show without the dogs barking for some reason.
Gotcha. We're actually getting toward the end of the show now here, folks, but we're wrapping this up. But this sample, when they opened up the capsule, the top part right there in the position it was in that picture, when they opened it up in the inner container, there was dust and a fine dust and powder and some of the pebbles from Bennu in that thing. Like I said, this stuff on the sampling got everywhere. Basically, just take like your vacuum cleaner after you go fill your vacuum cleaner outside full of a bunch of dust, bring it over and break open that vacuum bag and watch all that stuff go all over. That's what this was like.
Yeah, but I don't, on Maya's asking, it's like, how will they study it and is it safe? I honestly don't know if it's safe. You just don't know, because there are items on there that don't exist on this world. You don't know what
we're talking about. Elemental items, and this has been addressed. This is not this first sample return mission. Japan has had 2 with the Hayabusa missions, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. They've actually brought back a few grams of 2 other asteroids. They've done this successfully twice. This is the U.S.'s first time. We just happened to get a whole bunch of it, to the point I don't have a flag in front of me. Otherwise, I'd be going USA, USA, USA. It's like our Big Macs. We have oversized hamburgers, and we bring back oversized samples of asteroids.
Yeah.
And so this is not a new thing. And the precautions that are taken, is it safe? We're talking about elemental pieces here. This is not vegetation from another planet. And the fact is that it's kept. These guys are in sealed suits. It's kept in a chamber, separated. The process to keep these samples pristine is the same that will protect us if there is theoretically any contaminants, which is highly unlikely, highly from these. This is not a sci-fi movie, though it's really cool stuff. It's amazing stuff. And so I can guarantee that these asteroid samples, what we got? Yes, space zombies is a legitimate thing, because it gives us endless jokes and cool stuff. There we go. What we brought back was significant. Half of it's going to go into storage. The other half will be brought out and stored. Will go out to labs that request it. There's already one, the Japanese lab that studies, and there's an actual name for it that I have on here somewhere. No, I took it out. But there's actual Japanese lab that will study this. NASA will study this over at the Houston, I believe it's called the Houston Space Center in Texas. And these things will never be exposed to Earth's atmosphere. They're always going to be kept in a tight container with a nitrogen purge to keep them pristine like this. The last thing we need to do is screw this up after spending so much money and having all this go well. And so that's it right now. Matter of fact, on October 11th, NASA will do a press conference to show their findings. They're going to do the initial study of some of the particles that were left over that were not in the sample canister. That was left over from removing the capsule and some of that stuff. So the regolith there, they're going to do preliminary tests on it. They're going to share their findings and share pictures of the actual sample container that's been so much effort's been to preserve it and keep it pristine. They're going to actually show it and how much we got and show their findings. So I'm pacing the floor in that respect for October 11th to hit. I know Curtis and Wendy, you are too, probably, and a lot of our viewers. And with that, to go back with what Curtis was saying, the extended mission. You want to talk about that one?
Okay. And then remember, we gotta wrap it up.
Oh yeah, because it's 11:01. We're there. We're actually ending about on time.
Okay. When it delivered the sample of asteroid Bennu to Earth, the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft had completed its primary mission, but the spacecraft didn't land back on Earth. It's continuing on to a new mission with a new name. That's OSIRIS-Apex. The spacecraft will explore Apophis, an asteroid roughly 1,200 feet, roughly 300 meters in diameter, and will come within 20,000 miles of Earth in 2029.
Yeah, and it just reflects what Curtis was saying, OSIRIS-Apex right there. Except it's all capital letters in this case with no lowercase x at the end of it. So do that. And a couple things that Curtis wants to point out is that with the robotic arm, when it touched, it's basically an over-engineered pogo stick. Very correct. And the general, mostly loose aggregate around about a foot and a half deep, not foolish and a half deep, obviously, but foot and a half deep. Then it starts getting solidish the more you go down, as we were talking about. But Curtis put it so well. And that's what we got on this. Hide comment. There we go. Okay. So that's what we have for it. There's a few things we could have gone over, but just remember the sample capsule. If you thought it was being, people were just picking up, putting back the truck. No, it was actually lifted by helicopter over to the portable clean room that was set up at the hangar. There's other stuff we could go over, but there was a question. Will we be covering this as a show, as a whole topic, the findings from the press conference on October 11th? No. Will we address it and talk about it during the show afterward? Yes, we will.
Yes.
We have a whole other thing we're doing in October.
So for those of you who follow our show, know that I love Halloween. I mean, I'm wearing a candy corn sweater.
Wait. You do?
Yes. So James and I do our entire show about Halloween the month of October. So we've been planning our whole October schedule and show configuration for October as Halloween. So we can revisit the findings of OSIRIS-Apex and I guess Apex in
from OSIRIS-REx. It's now OSIRIS-Apex.
Yes. So we will revisit the findings after our Halloween extravaganza. And look how cute Princess Leia is. She's so cute. Look she's sleeping in my arms right now.
Is she made of charcoal and carboniferous material?
She practically is.
She looks like a regolith of fur. Okay. Yes, folks, next week starts our four-show week build-up to the end of October to our Halloween special. We'll be going over our cool things about Halloween. We have stuff planned on like biographies of vampires and slasher films. Maybe we'll do that. We're going to be talking about Halloween decorations and a couple special guests. One of them might be named Dave. One of them also might be named Uchansky. I get it right?
Yes, finally.
Uchansky.
How many years? 3 years now?
No, it ended when I got corrected so dramatically on the show last time he was on. And we might have, for those of you that follow my Facebook, we might have Penelope as a guest on our show coming up. But it's all about the greatest non-religious holiday, but some of us love it so much it might as well be the religion of it, Halloween.
Halloween.
Yep, coming up. All right, this has been this week's episode of Late Night Craft Talk, the Smarty Smart Edition STEM show, kind of, sort of. Yep. Spacey space stuff. And hope you folks enjoyed it. We love talking about it. This has actually been one of our more funner ones of STEM shows. We'll have to do one on volcanoes.
By the way, you guys, if you get a chance, it's time to watch Black Pumpkin again. Just so you know. Did
you get the message right there from Maya?
Yeah. Princess Leia's like, hello.
Got it.
Hello.
Thank you, Julia. Right, been fun. Awesome stuff. Just remember, when you go over there, you can watch the movie. Maya said, don't look at the movie. Don't look up. Fun movie you can find. I think it was on Netflix. And otherwise, science. And folks, you just remember when you ever get a chance, you get out in the woods, you're out camping in your dark skies, look up and look at the amazingness that we have that's out there and how much we have to discover. And we learned just a little bit and touched on some of the really cool stuff like tonight. And we all know the word now, Carboniferous.
Yes.
And not OSIRIS-REx.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Queuing up the credits. All right, folks. It's been another episode of Late Night Craft Talk. I didn't get it preloaded. And there it is. All right. Good night, folks. See you next week.
Good night, folks.
We'll be live with you. Bye-bye. We'll be Carboniferous. Always look up. Aw, ain't he cute? Good night, folks.
Good night, everyone.